Hello, Gary.
Hello, Guy. We're going live.
We are going live, and it's amazing because it's such a special place to us. I've got so many incredible memories of this place. Have you ever been there before, Gary?
I don't think I've been to the Screen on the Green in Islington, have I? Is it? Oh, hang on. I think I saw a concert there. Did I not mention that?
I think only in passing you might have been at something that was on August the 29th, 1976.
That's right. I was 16 years old and Steve Dagger took me and Steve Norman from Spandau, we weren't even in Spandau Ballet then, to the Screen on the Green, and we saw, guess who we saw? We saw the Buzzcocks, Clash and the Sex Pistols.
I know, it's brilliant. Have you seen the flyer? The flyer's brilliant. In fact, we got it up. Come on. And it's what's interesting, because it's not Jamie Reid yet. It hasn't got that really distinctive, it hasn't got the kind of the kidnap letter look to it.
But
badly cut out pictures.
So it's part of the day for the podcast festival that's going on in Islington. Podcast Festival London.
That's right, where we're appearing with all sorts of other proper podcasters.
Yeah. So we'll be on during the day doing that. And then in the evening at 7 o'clock, you can buy tickets to come and see us on stage interviewing who?
Steve Diggle from the Buzzcocks and Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols.
And we will be talking about that famous night, the midnight special, that apparently, I think I've told you, I saw.
Perhaps. Can we just say, can you believe that the first thing we get to do live is this? Is something that is so kind of crucially, intrinsically fundamental to the soul of the Rockonteurs.
Yeah, we are excited. So you better buy tickets. You can get tickets from all our social media sites. You can go on there and find the link and buy tickets. And we'd love you to come along and you can hear Welcome to the Rockonteurs in person, up close.
God knows who from.
I think it might be a night of ribbing.
A night of pure anarchy. That was the ICA, wasn't it? Wasn't it a night of pure anarchy?
Yeah. So we'll see you there.
See you there.
So head to rockonteurs.com to find out more.
So you've been handing out awards at football stadiums.
I've been handing out awards. Well, I think stadium's a bit of a reach. Grounds. It was, yes, on behalf of the Rockonteurs, I presented the Rooker Prize. It's called the Rooker Prize because Lewis FC, the team in question, are known as the Rooks, and it was a great competition. That you only had to write the first 250 words of the novel, and my missus Georgia, being a noted children's author, was one of the judges, and this winner won hands down. Ronnie Hendra, she wrote a thing called the Teeny Tiny Toaster Dragon, which is very funny, and it's on the Lewis FC website, so you can go and have a look.
Ronnie.
She's a science teacher and football enthusiast who'd never written before.
Well, that's wonderful. And does it say anything about Rockonteurs on the award?
Unfortunately, not. I don't think we sponsored it quite enough. But it's a very lovely carved wooden nib.
So
yes.
We have a writer on today.
We do have a writer. We have a writer and not unintentional photographer.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a book out, which is about his life with David Bowie. And boy, did he have a life with David Bowie, right? So he grew up with David. He went to school with David. They all lived in the same area, Bromley. And he knew him as a mod. He knew him in all those early days of what the records they used to buy together, him and George Underwood, the artist who gave David his dodgy eye, who smacked him in the playground for cheating on him with a girl, a friend of his. And he went on to become called War and Peace. This is Geoff MacCormack. But he goes on to become War and Peace and becomes one of David's backing vocalists on the Ziggy Stardust tours, the Aladdin Sane, the Young Americans, Diamond Dogs, and travels with him across Russia from Japan by train to England on the Trans-Siberian Express.
And documents it all. And what's fantastic is they're both documenting it, isn't it? Because he's taking the stills and Bowie had an 8mm cine camera.
Yeah. I mean, and the book is fantastic, I have to say.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this later. Especially the afterword from David Bowie.
That is a master, but that needs to be,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever you can do. Made into an NFT.
Put in the British Library, I would have thought.
Put in a museum and preserve for future generations, along with our first David Coverdale episode, as David Arnold suggested.
Vile. Evil. It was evil, wasn't it? Why did I say vile?
Evil.
He probably does say vile as well. But evil.
Evil.
Geoff is an ace face. I mean, oh my God, he describes at one point in this book something that he wears, his favourite get-up, which was, a Macintosh, a cream Macintosh with scarlet polo neck, blue trousers, and green hush puppies. I'm like, wow, see that.
Green up, wow.
See that mod.
Wow. Zoot suit, white jacket with side vents 5 inches long.
Let's get him on.
Welcome to the Rockonteurs.
Okay, guys, I'm ready.
But it's a big tune for sure. I actually wrote that originally for Tina Turner.
Of course, I had gone and found Joni Mitchell down in Florida and brought her back.
I've listened to a few of them and they've been really good, man. I've been sitting in the back of the car coming into London. They're brilliant.
That caused a big problem in the band, actually. I was having too much fun.
Thank you guys for still being around, still making music, still being into it, and doing this podcast. It's fabulous.
Well, I get the feeling that us three should go for a pint. That's what I think.
I'm in a band now. It's called Roxy Music.
You know this thing about the 10,000 hours of experience?
Oh, yeah.
Get good at something. When we recorded Arnold Lane, we'd done about 50 hours.
The Rockonteurs podcast with Gary Kemp and Guy Pratt.
Keep on rocking!
Hiya, guys.
Geoff.
Hello.
It's the old geezer.
Mate.
Gary, you look well.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you on.
Hi, Geoff. I'm Guy.
Geoff, we were just doing a little introduction about you, and I love at the beginning of your book the way you describe your favourite outfit. And I may have got it wrong, but the Macintosh red polo neck. What is that?
Yeah, that's right. Red, white, and blue. Which is topical. Yes, it was one of those long trench coats with all the buckles and stuff. Very French, and when you get your favourite outfit when you're a kid, it's just things.
Never forget it.
But Gary did say green hush puppies.
Green hush puppies, yeah.
What? Where would such a thing be found? I never knew of green hush puppies.
Yeah, hush puppies were a mod thing.
I know. I was a mod revivalist in '79,
right.
So we green hush puppies weren't available to us, mate.
Where were they from? Clark's.
Hush puppies were Clark's, yeah.
Oh, okay. Also Clark's were desert boots.
That's right.
And with both of those attire, you could walk miles with a certain amount of help.
With pilled out your pills.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the blue. Was that the blue bit?
we would often walk from the West End on a Sunday after the whole night in the West End. We'd often walk back to
Bromley,
where we lived, Bellingham, Bromley, whatever.
Wow.
Via the El Partido in Lewisham, which was an all-nighter. Yeah.
And where had you been before you walked back?
We'd been
the Flamingo.
We'd been to the Mingo. Yeah. It wasn't cheap, the Mingo, even to get in. And we'd been to the Scene in Ham Yard. The Flamingo was better. It was later on, at the end of the 60s. Clubs got a bit, cheesy, like the Revolution and those kind of things. And they were, where the Beatles hung out and whatever. But the early clubs, really up and down the country, were kind of like cellars.
And what kind of music were you dancing to there at the Mingo?
Always Louis Louis.
Which
look,
Kingsman.
Yeah. They never did anything else. It was just a happy accident that, which just shows you how music can be. Everything about that track is shit.
Yeah, and yet it's perfect.
Yeah, I remember when after the Blitz Club finished, Robert Elms opened a club on Wardour Street called San Moritz, and that was one of the theme tunes. That was one that was always on the deck at that point.
Yeah. I bet.
And do you know what? Funny enough, my stepson was down at the San Moritz just the other night because there's now some cool jazz club there.
Okay, really?
Because this is the thing, isn't it? That we're talking about Soho. one of the early places for us was Billy's on Mead Street, and that was the Gargoyle Club. Back in the 1920s.
I think I mentioned that because that's pre everything. I mean, that's way back when Soho was almost a no-go.
Well, that would have been Evelyn Waugh and Tallulah Bankhead and that crowd.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It was all run by Jack Spot, the gangster.
Jack Spot, you don't get names like that anymore.
Yeah, you don't, do you?
Didn't you buy? Did you buy drugs off of Jack the Hat McVitie?
McVitie, yeah.
Sorry, not McVitie. Sorry.
I bought
No, he got